Hi, in this clip I'm going to give you a few tips on finding added reading materials to support you in creating your research question and particularly in doing the work that you're going to need to do for assignment 1. So let's first return to our learning diagram and remind us where we are. So in the previous video, I told you a little bit about how to apply, how to develop a case study. You've seen something in the media. The example we talked about was Geordie Shore that you think is kind of interesting, perhaps for a reason you can't quite put your finger on, and you want to see if you can actually make it interesting by connecting it to some academic ideas and find out if it's useful as a way of exploring what those ideas and demonstrating how you understand them. So we looked at Geordie Shore, and we could see how, in looking at Helen Wood's article, there are a couple of ways in which we can turn Geordie Shore into a meaningful research question. Whenever we think about the show itself, you know, the question of whether it's good or bad is indifferent. It's just the fact that it's something that a lot of people watch is worth researching. And I suppose what we thought was that kind of the underlying issue here is that Geordie Shore is something to do with celebrity culture and the grasp that celebrity culture has on contemporary culture. It's something that we all think about. And then we, I suppose, kind of made it a little bit more specific in the sense that we said that if you look at someone like Gaz Beadle, he's actually allows us to kind of drill down a little bit further into the general concept of celebrity and connect it in particular to the kind of celebrity that connects with reality TV. Remember we talked about third generation celebrity. And also to a changing notion of authenticity. One of the things that you'll find if you read about a celebrity is that the idea of authenticity is very important to celebrity. But of course, it's one of those tricky words because what authenticity means in relation to celebrity is a matter of some conjecture. So at any rate, what we've done is we've seen something in the media that we think is interesting. We've done some of our set reading, and we've kind of said, oh, you know, this it fits the general literature on celebrity, and it also fits Helen Wood's very up-to-date work on celebrity and in reality television. But now that's kind of not enough. You know, we need to read a few more articles, and we really need to drill down and show that we've really made an effort to explore what celebrity is and why it matters as an academic concept. And there's a couple of ways we can do that. If we go to our unit guide, maybe I'll do the PDF a little bit easier. So you'll scroll down and you'll see for each week there's a list of key readings and supplemental readings. And these supplemental readings are the sorts of places, this is one of the places where you'll go to round out your knowledge about the topic that you're working on. But I just want to show you another trick that's a really useful way of updating your reading and of also making sure that you're reading the most up-to-date, most cutting-edge kind of media research. And I'm going to show you a few steps in looking for literature, and I want you to do this before the next workshop. So the steps I'm about to show you, I want you to perform. You'll see that on the front page of the Moodle site, we've got the link to our key readings. Then we've got this link here to Communications and Mass Media Complete Database. Click on that. If we go to Library, if we go to Databases, then we click on Arts, Communication. Right here, Communication and Mass Media Complete. We click on that. And then we enter into an absolute goldmine of information. So what this database does is it gives you access to thousands and thousands of research articles that have been written about media subjects. There are literally thousands, there are hundreds of media journals, thousands of journal articles that are written. And academic journal articles are particularly useful resources because they give you the most up-to-date, most rigorously peer-reviewed information that you can access. So let me just show you how this works. And also it allows you to do a very quick scan over a wide range of literature to pick out sources that are going to be particularly valuable for your research. So let me show you how this works. The art of using this particular database is thinking in a creative way about what it is you're actually researching. So say, for example, let's follow the example that we've been working with so far, Geordie Shore. I want to know if it is possible to do research on Geordie Shore. So just in the search and communication and mass media field on the top, you can see if you can click down here, you can select a number of options, but this is just an open search, and this makes sense to do that and just see what you get. So let's click on it. Not very much. So one of the things that we would have to do there is we realize that there are things that are written about Geordie Shore, but we haven't found any academic research. So we have to think more laterally about what Geordie Shore is about. One of the things we know it's about is celebrity. So let's go celebrity. Well, now, here you see the problem. We have found 3,799 articles on celebrity. So what we need to do is we need to start cutting that down, don't we? Well, the most obvious way to cut that down, we have a range of options over here. The most obvious way to do that is the first thing you should always do is hit scholarly peer-reviewed journals only. What that means is it immediately knocks out things like conference papers, media, industry reports, things that are not really rigorously academic. But we've still got over 1,000 to deal with, and you begin to look here, and you can immediately see that it's not sort of a lot of these things don't immediately appear to lend themselves to understanding why Gaz from Geordie Shore is the celebrity that he is. So I suppose the next thing we would do is add a qualifier. Celebrity and reality television. Let's see how that works. Now we're moving towards something that's more workable. We've got 42 journal articles here, okay? So this is something we can work with, and it's something we can work with because what we can do is we can look through not only the titles, but also if you hover over this, you get an abstract. So this tells us basically what this article is about. And one of the things that's kind of interesting here is you might look at this and you might say, well, hang on. So this is about specifically about participating in historical reality television. And in Wales, so it doesn't really sound very much like Geordie Shore. But what we do find is that this is mentioning things of participants, issues of experience and embodiment, engaging in unpaid media labour, which is the question of work, the question of whether the people on Geordie Shore are working, are having fun, or indeed working and creating a celebrity brand, is something that might be worth looking at. So we might think, well, let's have a look at this a bit later because it might have some interesting things that we can apply to Geordie Shore in here. So if we did want to do that, we click this button. This looks interesting. I suppose we might look at this. A couple of things here. A fan crashing the party, exploring reality celebrity in MTV's Real World franchise. Now, this would be useful because it gives our research some historical depth. The Real World is a show that began in 1992, was also an MTV show. In many ways, the forerunner to Geordie Shore, in the sense that it was a show about young people living together in a fabulous location. And the interesting thing about this show, if you watched it over, it's been running for 25 years. And the interesting thing is, if you watch the show in its later incarnations, as the years went by, the drinking and the partying became more and more a feature of the show. So this might be a kind of an interesting read to see kind of where Geordie Shore came from. So we'll have a look at that. We'd move down here. The mass production of celebrity, Sellertoids, reality TV, and the demotic term. Do you know why we would look at this? Because it's by Graham Turner, who's written some of the most famous books on celebrity. So this is his take on applying celebrity to reality TV. So it's probably well worth a look. And we'd continue to go through like that. Now, just for the sake of brevity, I'm going to click on a few more here. Okay, just when bad girls go good. That looks interesting because the issue of women and gender and the performance of quote unquote bad girls is quite important to Geordie Shore. Making the most of 15 minutes, that might be worth looking at because it seems to be something that's probably going to dig under that really boring cliche about celebrity being about 15 minutes of fame, which really doesn't tell us anything about much at all. I'm just going to click through a few more. Stars behaving badly, that looks good. Big Brother is a ritual event. This is a really important piece because it tells us about how reality TV has kind of entered into the rhythms of social life and the rhythms of the world. So yeah, we might have a look at that. Again, we're looking for things that are about work, a generational approach to organisational level. That sounds good. gender, nation, and reality TV. We know that Geordie Shore is a lot about gender. You're obviously going to be doing this in a lot more thoughtful of a way. Let's have something on Twitter. Contemporary working class masculinities. That sounds fantastic. Humiliation, subjectivity, and reality TV. We want that too. Now, say we go on and we do that. Let's have this one too. The next thing we do is we go to our folder. What you see is we've got 14 journal articles. Now, there's a few things you can do here. Hit select all. Then what I want you to do for this particular exercise is I want you to hit save as file. So we're putting it in unformatted text. And then what you have is you have a list of the abstracts for all of your articles that you've selected. And you can read through them, and then you can go back to the persistent link. You can go back, when you've selected the ones that you think are the most interesting to read, you can go back and select them. So what I want you to do is I want you to do two things before the workshop on using NVivo to construct your lit review. I want you to take this file and I want you to save it as either a Word file or a PDF. Then I also want you to choose 5 of the articles which are the most relevant to that you think are going to be the most relevant to your research. And I want you to download those as PDFs as well. And I want you to come to the workshop on how to do a literature review with both of those with all of those files. So with the PDFs of your articles, and also with either the Word or the PDF of your abstracts. And then I'm going to show you how to begin to put together your literature review and therefore start writing your first assignment using these within NVivo. So the benefit here, and the reason why I really want you to do this, is I'm going to show you a way where you can actually start writing your assignments whilst you're doing the reading for it. So no more of this lime green highlighter pen and then reading it one week and then coming back to it the night before the assessment and looking at it and going, why did I highlight that? And then having to sort of sit there balancing paper on your knee. So hopefully that will make things a lot easier for you. Okay, so that's how to use the Communication and Mass Media database to prepare for the workshop we're going to do on literature review.